What is up, guys? It's your boy Primal Days here. Now, here's a game that I never even heard of, never even considered playing, until one day it just pops up on the PlayStation Store. I'm like, what is this? What is this Dreamfall Chapters? What is this? Well, to start things off, Dreamfall Chapters is a adventure game in the vein of, like Telltale games and things like that, where there is choice, consequences, exploration, puzzle solving, things like that. And it's a sequel to a game called Dreamfall: The Longest Journey. I never played Dreamfall: The Longest Journey. I've never heard of Dreamfall: The Longest Journey. Apparently, it's a game that was only on, I think, PC. Is that what that was? It was only on PC. Maybe that's why I never played it. Because it didn't come to PlayStation. No, it was on Xbox. It was on Xbox as well. But it never came to PlayStation, so I never got my hands on it. I'm a PlayStation guy. That's where my main base is. So Dreamfall, I'm like, well, what is this? I watch a couple trailers. I get interested. Then I actually play the game, and I'm like, damn. This game, it just shocked me. It just shocked me what Red Thread Games, the developer, could do. I never even heard of these people, but they bring in this episodic 5-chapter adventure. Like I said, it's similar to Telltale. But each chapter, it's a lot longer than anything his Telltale has put out. I think I spend at least, bare minimum, 3 hours in a chapter. This was a long kind of game, a good adventure game. This is what an adventure game should be as far as length-wise. The storytelling was actually very intriguing. All right, there's some dips in the third act of the story, but a lot of games and movies, as a matter of fact, go through that. I don't know why the third act is so hard to nail down. But here's the thing. The game is set in two different universes. You got this futuristic cyberpunk universe, which I love my sci-fi. And then you got this magical fantasy part, which is called Arcadia. And you're back and forth. You're in between these places, and you play as two main characters. The two main characters of the game are Chloe, who I actually really liked. She was very fun to play with and get along with and get to know. I like me some Chloe, actually. And, it was shocking how much I liked Chloe. She's a good character. A nice, strong female character for, all you feminists out there. You got yourself another strong one, alright? Now, the other guy, the one whose mostly story takes place in Arcadia, that's Keon. Alright, Keon, he's a soldier and all of this fancy stuff. I don't need to go into the characters without spoiling too much. But you play as these two, and you're going back and forth, and your decisions actually matter. At least for the first 4 chapters. It doesn't really matter in the 5th. Your choices actually matter, okay? You can set the stage on who's going to die, who's going to be left in the resistance, whether or not your relationship is going to work. Alright, you can end it in episode 1. You can continue it on from episode 1. It's very interesting how they was able to do this, though it still ends as all these adventure games do, with like one path ending. So that's one thing them and Telltale games have in common, is there's still only one ending, really. There's this ending. Yeah, some people may have died along the way, but this is the ending right here. It's not going to be any different for really anyone other than the people surrounding you. So you can have specific people die. Like I said, you can have certain relationships. Though there is a cock tease in there, a fair warning, there's a cock tease relationship in there where you can kiss a girl and that's it. You can't go any further with her. Now they kind of explain why it's just not in the character, why it's not for him to date that woman, but I don't understand why you would give the option to kiss that woman if you're not going to try to implement some sort of romance. I don't understand why that was in there. To me, that was just a cock tease for people like myself who was like, yo, this could be interesting, but then it doesn't go there. Yeah, but you could have another relationship in the other character and you could break that off. It's weird how they didn't allow one to happen, but the other one you can keep. So I felt that was a problem. You should have not done that cock tease type thing. As far as the gameplay goes, it's simple. You walk up to something, you interact with X. All right, it's an adventure game. There's not a lot of mechanics here. I will say that the game did feel stiff. That was one of my problems with it. It was pretty stiff. I think this game had a Kickstarter. Yes, it did. It raised over 1.5 million. So I'll cut it a little bit of slack right there. But even with you being kickstarted, you still could have did something better with the controls. I mean, I know Friday the 13th is going through the same shit right now with these stiff, clunky ass controls. Dreamfall chapters, well, I don't know what's going on with the indies and their controls, and they can't fix the stiff controls, but that has very stiff controls. The mouth movements on the characters are also very stiff, but the key to making Dreamfall chapters a success is the story, which was very engaging, very intriguing, and had great characters. I want to talk about it more in depth, but I don't want to spoil anything. Just know that I love the cyberpunk stuff, the sci-fi stuff, more than I did the fantasy stuff. The fantasy stuff was cool, and there's a really awesome bird in there named Crow. That dude is awesome. But the cyberpunk stuff with Chloe, I could have did all 5 chapters of nothing but her story, and I would have been 100% on this game, 10 out of 10. This game would have been 10 out of 10 if I was 100% on Chloe. I felt it dipped a little bit every time we went to Keon. If not enough to ruin anything, but it dipped a bit every time we went to the fantasy setting. And that pesky third act of the game where you pretty much don't get a choice in anything. With chapter 5, it's just straight through to the end. There's no more choices. They're all gone. They're all thrown out the window. You've made them all. All your choices and consequences are done. Book 5 is book 5, and there's no choices and anything left. So that's what Dreamfall chapters is. It's a very, very nice, compelling adventure game that I think is going under the radar. You know, we all play these Telltale games, these Telltale adventure games, and you know, the couple of the other ones that come out every now and then, like something like Oxenfree, you know, we play those. But Dreamfall chapters, I feel that's a step above and where adventure games should be. Adventure games should be this long. This was like at least 10 to 12 hour experience. You know, I'm getting like 3 hours out of each episode through like trial and error on the puzzles and going around just talking to everybody. I'm getting like 3 hours out of each episode, so that's a 15-hour experience for me. That's how long adventure games should be to me. I think Telltale could take some notes. I think Telltale could take some notes on choices and consequences going throughout the series. Though I think they did a good job with A New Frontier recently, but Dreamfall chapters, I feel, sets a new standard. You know, just work on those controls, and this would be a 10 out of 10 game. It would be a 10 out of 10 if you work on those controls, and if Keon's story was a bit more compelling. I loved everything with Chloe. Being Chloe in that futuristic world was just fucking awesome. I loved everything about it. The final tally that I think I'll give this game is an 8.5 out of 10. I think that the controls, like I said, take away points. I think that Keon's dip in his story every now and then takes away points. I feel the third act, that pesky third act, takes away points. So I'll settle for 8.5 out of 10. Guys, let me know what you thought of Dreamfall chapters if you're going to play it, or if you've changed your mind now that I've described it to you, basically told you it's a better made, longer adventure Telltale type game with a little bit more exploration to it. Actually, a lot more exploration than Telltale games. So post those comments down below, and I hope to see you guys in the next vid.